Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dota 2 Champions League. We have two very important matches ahead of us. It is finals days, ladies and gentlemen. That means a winner's bracket final between Ninjas in Pajamas and Team Empire. And to follow this up, we have a loser's bracket final. So the winner of this match will actually go on to go into the D2CL land and have a chance against three other teams. The loser will drop down into the loser's bracket and face up against Balkan Bears for a second chance to get themselves to the LAN, which is going to be right here in Germany. So, guys, we have a very full evening. It's going to be a best of 5 and a best of 3. The loser's bracket was changed to a best of 3 due to some fear of teams being overly fatigued. And, well, it makes a lot of sense. If you potentially have to play 10 games in a row, would be pretty upsetting. So it's a best of 5 and a best of 3. We already have the draft underway for game number 1 between Team Empire and Ninjas in the Pajamas. So let me go ahead and bring in my co-caster, Statsman Nahaz. The hit of MLG is going to be joining me for this cast. What's up, man?
5 seconds remaining.
What's up, buddy? Thanks for having me on. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We do need to talk about the draft because they drafted really quickly and it kind of caught me off guard how quickly they went. But we have a Troll Warlord, Magnus, picked up for Team Empire, while Train Protector and Lena was the 1-2 response to the Troll pickup. I like the Train Protector versus Troll especially. And then they're going to get a Bat Rider, a nice little setup hero that works well with the Lena. And then we had a couple of bans, Chen, Axe, Team Empire taking away Control and Jungling, while Ninjas in Pajamas making sure that there's none of those really good synergy heroes with the Troll, banning away the Vengeful Spirit because they wanted the Bat Rider, and it works well with Troll, and the Drow Ranger, who also obviously works quite well with Troll.
Yeah, I mean, the quick draft is no surprise. These two teams know each other pretty well. I mean, they've played 16 times this year. Team Empire is 13-3 in those games, but NiP did take a couple of games off them last month. The Shadow Demon, interesting pick here right away. We're kind of seeing some of the recent shifts in the meta. Shadow Demon has really come back in a big way. We saw EG run this hero with great success at MLG in the last day when they came back, made it all the way to the grand finals. It's a very good lane controlling hero. And as the meta has kind of gotten a little bit more settled, some people would say a little bit more stale, although I disagree with that. Lane dominance has once again come to the forefront here in 6.83, and Shadow Demon a really effective lane dominator hero.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this. Like, I could understand it back when we were seeing. So there were some teams running like Lena as a support. So you pick up Shadow Demon, works really well with the Lena, obviously, because you have the setup stun. And generally, Leshrac works really well with those heroes like Lena. And Leshrac, well, there's the Leshrac. All right, fair enough. So now the Shadow Demon, I like it a lot more. If they're using it in conjunction with that tight duo, that tight support duo that has a lot of single target power, I like it quite a bit. Otherwise, as a straight-off support hero, I'm still not a fan.
Yeah, Always Want to Fly, one of the few players that never really went away from the Leshrac. They've run this as a support pretty consistently, and this kind of stabilizes their lanes. I really liked the Open, the Troll Warlord, and the Magnus because Team Empire can run those two heroes on different players. You'll see Resolution and Silent both on the Troll. You'll see Yoki and Resolution both on the Magnus, but I think this really kind of solidifies them. They're going to look for roaming in this game, and I always like that on the Dire side. I think you've got to have a plan to contest and control that Radiant jungle as Dire, and this support duo is going to let them do that very effectively.
Radiant team pick.
So our last man, Ninjas in Pajamas, take away the Zeus, while we're going to have the Phantom Lancer banned away by Team Empire. Of course, the PL is one of those carries that I completely agree with him being the last ban, just because he's simply so strong in so many different scenarios. And if you feel at all threatened by that hero, in which case I would if I was Team Empire, right? You have some supports that are pretty squishy, very susceptible to the diffusal. You've got, you know, Magnus would be a good setup for going up against the PL, but Troll Warlord's single target focus is not particularly strong. He would definitely need that Empower. So even though their team lineup, their two cores would actually have some power against a PL, simply put, he's just too obnoxious of a hero to deal with.
Yeah, I mean they do have the AoE, but PL was one of those heroes that we've seen recently in a 4 Protect 1 is NiP are really kind of locked in right now. I mean, I like their hero composition. I like their draft in general, but they're locked in to drafting a very, very hard one position hero right now. And there just aren't that many heroes right now that give them the damage. I think you're almost locked into like a PA. You could run a Tiny without a Wisp. NiP is one of the few teams that I'd advocate doing that just because Era is so good on Tiny. But I think you really need some mid-game damage output right here beyond what the Limp Lina is going to be able to offer. So I would tend to favor a PA.
Yeah, I'd be down with that as well. There it is.
Assassin.
Ninjas of Pajamas. Picking up that Phantom Assassin. What do you want for Team Empire, though? Because we should be seeing mid-Magnus, Troll, safe lane. That's the typical way to run it. But
this is why I love their draft, though. They don't have to do that.
True.
They can still run Yoki off-lane Magnus and pick like the Queen of Pain is banned. The Storm Spirit's still available, though. They could still pick Resolution Storm Spirit mid and go off-lane Magnus with Yoki and have a Silent Troll Warlord, and I think that'd be very powerful.
Yeah, I actually had a bit of a brain fart there. I'm realizing we're talking about Team Empire, while other teams would most likely run the Magnus mid, such as Cloud9 in the hands of Fada. It's one of his main heroes, right? So
Fada's Magnus recently, holy crap. I don't know if you guys have seen those games, but he's had some Fada's been carrying Cloud9 in general. Yeah. But he's had some particularly magnificent Magnus games. But I actually really, at this point, would like them to pick a mid hero for Rezo. But
yeah, I think agree. What I was going to say was that the Yoki as an offlane, like his usual play is offlane Magnus. So for Team Empire, obviously, I was thinking just, busy thinking, the Magnus Troll, which we've seen Cloud9 run so much. I was like, mid Magnus, But you're right. Team Empire, much more likely to be running that in the offlane. But never mind. Resolution picking up the Magnus. Nyx Assassin picked up for Yoki in that offlane position instead.
Yeah, so you can really see Empire is sort of riding the recent meta trends, and I really like this. Nyx Assassin, a hero that we've seen in the 3 and 4 roles a lot recently. Just we've tended to see a lot of int hero heavy drafts, and the damage that a Nyx Assassin can do just with mana burn, even with no farm, is a little bit ridiculous with that ability.
So, as we wait for Team Empire, should be pretty simple setup, right? Defensive tri-lane, you're expecting Team Empire to probably roam around a bit with the Shadow Demon Leshrac. They're going to try and keep the Bat Rider away from the lane as long as possible, but eventually picks up his level 2 and then goes ahead and he jungles from there, which will free up the supports to roam if they want to, which is what they probably should be doing here.
Yeah. I think you brought up the key at the very end, though, that Jonas Fan's level 2 timing is going to be really huge in this match. He's a player that very, very steady, consistent player, with the exception of a few games where he has a hard time in the laning phase. He can have a hard time coming back.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to put in our D2CL HUD, so our overlay is going to look a little funky, a little out of sorts, since it doesn't match up with the current HUD that I have going on, but hopefully it I know some of you won't mind, but hopefully it won't be too big of a distraction. We've got Lion with an early set of boots, defensive tri-lane around the Phantom Assassin. Pretty normal stuff so far. Empire, do you think this is the right idea, them actually running an aggro tri, it seems?
I do, and Dire side aggro tri-lanes are almost 55% since March 1st. And this is a really important aspect of this meta, especially against like a 4 Protect 1 strategy like Ninjas of Pajamas are running here. I think you have to have a plan to contest that really efficient farm.
Aloha dance. Giving a little shout out to Era God. Of course, these two teams did face up against each other at MLG Columbus. They got a little FaceTime with each other. Yeah. Gotta say, both teams really nice. Empire, of course, you can't really.
Absolutely great guys.
Some of them you don't really understand, but obviously not a lot of them speak English. But Resolution was kind enough to speak to me a bit. Seems like a pretty good group of guys all around. So.
Yeah, I was impressed with that with all the teams at MLG Columbus, really, that you meet these guys and they're just awesome people, incredibly smart, and really, really a lot of fun. I mean, if those of you in the chat who haven't had a chance to attend some LAN events, you should really do that. We have some really awesome players in this scene.
So the Nyx Assassin versus the Bat Rider. This is going to be an interesting matchup, one we don't see too often. Typically, how this goes, at least back in the day, right? The Nyx Assassin will fare pretty well. He usually goes for his mana burn spam right away because dealing with sticky napalm is super obnoxious. Top lane, we do have a bit of action. Ooh, nice double stun here. Limp's going to be able to hit the stun. They take out Always Want to Fly. And Aloha Dance takes a huge amount of damage as well. First blood going to Ninjas and Pajamas, pretty much thanks to that double stun setup from the Lion, and also the fact that they're choosing to run Lina in the safe lane as a part of this tri lane, way more effective than the Phantom Assassin would be.
Yeah, and I think that really caught Empire off guard. I mean, this is one of the only times that I've seen them run Limp Lina in something other than a solo mid role. He's very used to this hero, but I really like this laning decision from NiP. Changes the composition of the early game hugely.
As you can see, Yoki, he pretty much reached the peak there of the Yonasan Fun off-lane Bat Rider when he had like 7 different sticky napalm charges. Now from here on out, the Nyx Assassin should be pretty good to go. He was able to survive through that.
Too.
Yeah.
Already no mana on the Bat Rider. I think he's going to have a hard time.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a lane that the Bat Rider has to focus on CS. He can't actually harass the hero that much, and this is why the Nyx Assassin is pretty good in this situation. He's got high natural armor and regen as well, which he never used to have when we would see this matchup, so if anything, he's going to be better now than he once was.
And look at, by the way, the extent to which Empire is able to control the Radiant jungle here. They were able to claim a CS. They're going to get the rune. I mean, this tri lane, despite giving up the first blood, I think is going to do its work. And you have to worry that, you know, right now, NiP are losing the 2 solo lanes, too.
Yeah, they're going to have a really fast, a big advantage to the Nyx Assassin, right? Being run in a safe lane situation here. He's going up against the Bat Rider, who's dependent on having a Blink Dagger in order to go gank. The same is not going to be said of the Nyx Assassin. He's kind of like a Clockwork. A little bit less accessible than a Clockwork, but kind of like a Clockwork, and all you really need is just your level 6. You can roam around and gank, and that's where the pressure is going to be put in on the Phantom Assassin, or maybe they go ahead and gank the whole entire tri lane. Either way, it's going to mean one of these cores, either the Lina or the Phantom Assassin, is going to be shut out. And I mean,
and it's
I would
the
put
Lina in
pressure on
particular.
Lina. Yeah.
And this is part of why I really like. This is part of why I think that Nyx Assassin has come back so strongly in the meta so quickly. Is that he's really an effective counter to a core Lina or a core Zeus.
Yeah. Particularly, I mean, you'll set up into, what are you going to do? Light Strike Array and stun yourself in the process. You've got that heavy amount of mana burn. I mean, we used to only see Nyx Assassin before the recent pickups. It was only seen when you were up against a Dusa. But now, as you said, we've run so many different intelligence heroes that are very susceptible to that mana burn that he's actually become a viable core again, which it's, you know, been a long time since we've seen that. It used to be, you know, just such a situational pickup. Oh, God, they got a Dusa. Let's go a Nyx Assassin. That's the only time you would see him.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you've got these hard farming int cores now who don't really want to get BKB. I mean, unless you're DK Phobos. Oh, wow. Era doing some damage to Resolution here in the mid lane, but he's going to get away quite easily.
Yeah, he's forced back. Era does have an invisibility rune as well. Kind of awkward to see Resolution just completely forced out of lane up against the other melee hero.
Yeah.
Era
it's a big deal though.
Well.
That'll really make up some of the ground that Era's lost early on in this game, in this lane.
Yeah. Because he should have been missing out on CS in the first like 1 to 3 levels due to shockwave harassment, but also just at level 1, the empower.
Oh, wow. What a huge kill by Yonasan Fan. And boy, the last couple minutes between Era forcing Resolution back and then Yonasan Fan getting the 1v1 kill, I mean, it's really brought NiP back after what looked like a laning phase that was going to go against him.
Yeah, I really didn't expect the Nyx Assassin to go down there. I thought that was just going to be a farming matchup. Didn't think that, you know, with the sticky with the wand charges plus the spike carapace, I don't think there's really a way that Bat Rider should be able to stay on top of you with that flame. Like, he's going to have to chase so far just due to the spike carapace stun. So
yeah, it was the bottle. It was the bottle. Yoki had been sort of playing against Yonasan Fan with Yonasan Fan having 0 mana. And all of a sudden he got that bottle. He bottle charged up and caught him off guard a little bit.
Well, we do have pawns out here from Resolution. Not sure what the deal is. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect real quickly. Some of you are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna change HUDs real quick because it does go with the overlays, guys. So I know some of you don't like it, but
Yeah, a little action down bottom here, but nothing's going to come of it. Oh, a disruption. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, Aloha Dance is going to go down here in the bottom lane.
Feed the flames.
Oh, and they managed to back out. So 3-0, Ninjas and Pajamas, man. 2 different kills in that bottom lane, a kill up in the top lane.
I'm telling you.
Things are looking very good for them so far.
Yeah, just a superior execution here in the last couple of minutes, and this laning decision to put Limp in the bottom lane, Silent, a little bit of danger here.
Yeah, always want to fly. Just hits the disruption and make sure that Limp can't go for the follow-up stun. Hanskin still playing very aggressive and is going to be rewarded with a couple of smacks to the ass. But what's Yonosenfan doing here in this middle lane?
Yeah, maybe going for, but once again though, resolution forced back to base. I mean, I think that's worth it. Even without the kill, the advantage that you're giving Era, who's really got to be your hard carry in this situation. And boy, I mean, notice this is like the first time that you've seen Always Want to Fly be able to leave the lane at all. The decision to put a strong aggressive tri-lane here from NiP in the safe lane has really locked down what we thought was going to be a roaming Leshrac and Shadow Demon combo.
Yeah, so he kind of has that unfortunate situation where the Shadow Demon Leshrac can't really be as effective as a roaming duo because you chose to run this aggro try, which again leaves the Phantom Assassin a lot more security in that middle lane as Living Armor starts kicking into play, and he knows he's not going to be ganked. He can play more and more aggressively. But looks like we're just having a little bit of server issues right now, nothing major.
Yeah, the saving grace still though. Still Yoki and Resolution sitting atop the CS boards here though. Era is close behind.
Yeah, it's funny. You could see like after they got that early kill, right? Ninjas and Pajamas still didn't have that big of a lead. In fact, it was Empire.
The disrupt deny.
Radiant's middle
Nicely
tower
played.
is under attack.
Taking away that bit of regen for Era. Resolution also on target there with that shockwave. Top lane, they're going to go for Yonosenfan. Nice pickup from Yoki.
Nice.
Grabbing that Vendetta. And they might have presumed he was actually going to rotate out, but now this is actually perfect, right? He could go ahead and sit here in lane, pick up his Arcane Boots, and then rotate out with the next Vendetta, having a decent amount of mana on top of it.
Yeah, and he's got it's nice too that he's got an Invis Rune bottled to counteract kind of what can be the short duration of that level 1 Vendetta.
Right. Yeah, that's always the biggest issue, right? Is you got to get to level 2 Vendetta, or else it's just like it's such an obvious.
Seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Nyx Assassin is gone from the top lane. Everyone just backs up to their tower for 20 seconds, and that's all they have to do to be able to counter out. Oh no, Troll!
Oh, man,
picked off
and
the bottom
the minute they tried to rotate the Shadow Demon Leshrac combo out of the lane, there you go. Silent goes down on his Troll.
Yonosenfan fighting up against Yoki, and Viz is going to be popped here by the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, Yonosenfan's got to be aware here. He's dead.
They're going to go. They don't have the stun up for him just yet. He may actually live. They have to land this stun. Aloha Dance nails it with the lightning follow-up there. Is able to get the kill. Nicely placed. The Lion, who TP'd up to the top lane, try and help out his Bat Rider, just stuns up the Nyx Assassin and is going to be forced away. Really nicely placed, though. Aloha Dance landing that clutch Leshrac stun at the right time. You got to be ready for those. You got to be able to land those stuns without the assistance of the Shadow Demon, right? You can't always rely on the disruption setup.
Exactly.
So the fact he was able to land that was pretty key. And,
no, it was really nice. I mean, especially against a fire-flying Bat Rider who can go in literally any direction. I mean, he got him right at the high ground, low ground divide and set up that kill.
8-minute rune. Era's going to find himself bounty regeneration top Magnus. He's going to be super happy with that one. Meanwhile, it looks like Empire just going to go back to playing a defensive tri-lane now that they've ensured the Nyx Assassin has a fair amount of roaming time. He's got his level 8. He can go up to top.
Yeah, here he comes down, bottom 2, and this could kill Era.
Yeah, he waits out the bottle charge a little bit. He needs assistance. He doesn't think it's going to be enough by himself. They're going to hit the stun, hit the shockwave, and with the skewer on top, wow, even the RP being used there just to make sure that he couldn't blink strike away to one of his allies. So
absolutely worth it. I mean, they're essentially playing a 4 protect 1 here, although Limp is getting his farm on the Lina. Era's farm and contesting Era's farm is really all Empire has to do in this mid game.
Right. Top CS still in the favor of Empire with the Magnus as well as Nyx Assassin topping out the board. The Troll Warlord has fallen behind a bit, so it's a good time for them to just run a defensive tri lane. You could shut down a Troll. He's kind of like a Juggernaut or an SF in this regards, and it's why we're seeing those 3 heroes being run so much. You can kind of shut them down in lane, but because they can jungle so efficiently, you're not going to be able to keep them from farming entirely. Right? You shut down a Spectre in lane, she's going to have a super hard time coming back in order to get that Radiance at a proper time. You shut down a Juggernaut or a Troll for the first 5 minutes, stall up, that Mask of Madness a little bit, it's not really going to matter too much. I think, like, stalling them up for 5 minutes in the laning phase only results in like 2 or 3 minutes in the mid game. A little bit slower item progression, but it's not that much.
Yeah, I'm going to try and set up a wraparound gank here on Limp, but it looks like he's ready for it. And Yoki might actually come around here.
Yeah, maybe they just go for a straight-out dive, like not even caring. Okay, yeah, he's in his tower, but we can still land the disruption. Aloha Dance misses the stun there. Okay, nice double stun, though. The skewer on top. Beautiful setup there. Hanskin not going to fall, though. The right clicks are not there. And now with the help, Resolution really wants to go for that kill, but Hanskin's actually healed up. And now Resolution is going to pay for his aggression here, going in a bit too far, and will die to the flames. Stun goes out. Resolution actually dies to the tower instead. So a missed stun there from Aloha Dance kind of results in a missed kill opportunity. Not on the Lina, but you could say that the damage that he forced into Lina means they didn't get the Lion.
Now that is a buff actually that I would really like to see to Leshrac. I'd really like to see that radius be 225 at all levels of Split Earth.
It's light
so
strike
hard
array.
to land.
Nice little juke there from Silent, reading that perfectly.
Oh.
Yoki.
Yeah, nice anticipation.
All right. They do have a lot of stuns that are hard to land. I'll give them that much. But it's getting a little crazy. They do have a counter ward here. Era sees what's happening right now. Obviously, he forced out the invisibility. He may not expect Aloha Dance to be here as well, though.
Yeah. Forced out the TP from Aloha Dance's Lesh. I don't know if the two of them are going to be able to take Era alone. I mean, you saw how much the Magnus had to commit just to ensure the kill on Era.
Smoke up. We're going to see Ninjas in Pajamas. Well, a couple of different routes here. They've got the Blink Dagger on Bat. The other two, Lion and Lina, actually separating from their Bat Rider. Not entirely sure why.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see both teams playing to contest the one position on the other side.
Right. Same smoke up here from Empire with Aloha Dance and Yoki. The Troll playing very far back. He seems to know what's going on, but does Era realize? Or perhaps it's not Era. Maybe they're going to go mid. Seal Kid isn't really the most opportune target in the world, but I guess it's what they have to...
yeah, it's worth it to slow his Ags down. I mean, I hate that item. I mean, I almost find myself rooting for Tree to die in these games, as bad as that is, because Eyes of the Forest is just, oh, Lord, that mechanic.
All right, dive in. Yoki is going to land the stun here. The follow-up stun, they get him anyway.
Nice.
Good read there, knowing that there's only had to stay next to the trees. They're going to be able to get the return kill, though, and this will not make it worth it if Yoki cannot get out. He gets a nice spike carapace, stuns up Hanskin. He's going to be slowed down, turns around, goes for the stun. RP on bolt. What a setup. Resolution now going to hit the skewer. Yoda Samfan, one more right click, and Resolution gets it. The charging Rhino gets two there.
Baby.
Yeah, that was a beautiful setup there. Turn around, RP into the double stun. And Empire looking very good here in game number 1. A rough start, but now taking about a 2,000 net worth lead and over 2,000 experience.
Yeah, that fight alone was almost a 2K swing, and we're heading into the point of the game right now where with the levels and the gold on these core heroes, I mean, these kills are extremely influential.
So he's going a Yule Scepter on Magnus. Do you agree with this item? I mean,
Yule's is just... It's one of those items that I can't disagree with really on any hero right now. I mean, it's probably... Yule's to me is probably the most OP item in the game currently.
Yeah. It's like when we saw Force Staffs on everybody, back when it gave you, when it was a part of the days when we were playing a lot of Wind Ranger and it was with the quarter staff, so it gave you attack speed.
It's kind of been the Frog's MO that when he feels like an item or a hero is underused, you buff the heck out of it to get it kind of into the meta and then nerf it slowly back. And I think Yule's is headed for a nerf for sure, but I actually don't think Mask of Madness is necessarily that overpowered compared to Yule's. I mean, Mask of Madness is a little bit OP, but it's a product of the current meta more than anything else. Whereas Yule's is undeniably good on almost any hero in almost any situation.
No, I would completely agree with that, actually. That the reason that we're seeing so much Mask of Madness is more the product of the heroes that are being picked up more than the item necessarily being super overpowered. It's definitely strong, but if we had different heroes being run, if we were going back to a more traditional like hard carry lineup where we're running like late game carries like Dusa or like Spectre. Spectre's a bad example because she's actually been picking up Mask of Madness lately, but but you know
Fear's been picking up Mask of Madness. I don't know about other people. But
I've seen one or two other Spectres go for it as well.
Yeah,
I tried out the build in my pubs. It's pretty helpful.
It's kind of the new Midas. I mean, that's what Mask of Madness does. It's just the only thing that I feel is a little bit underrated about Mask of Madness is that, remember, you know, once you get to that 15, 20, 25 minutes, kills become so important. Steel Kid may be about to go down again.
Yeah, I think they need a little bit more, Tree. He's got 1k HP, but he certainly does have some heroes that can respond. They've got the Blink Skewer ready to go. They can land the stun, try and skewer him back, but they don't go for it. Meanwhile, Era's net worth has actually been suffering a bit. You could see that despite the fact that he had a better lane than the Troll did, it seems he's actually fallen behind the Troll while they're actually tied up right now.
Commit the RP just for Jonas and found on top.
Yeah, they're going to be able to follow up the Lightning or Aloha Dance. Oh, he's actually out of mana. Oh, dear, Resolution. They're not going to be able to get him at all. Unless he sticks around for too long for some reason, but he's got two supports behind him. I can't believe they went for that kill. They didn't even have the mana on Leshrac.
I'm really surprised, especially given, I mean, Magnus leads the board in net worth among all heroes. I'm a little bit surprised that you would commit the RP for one kill, but there you go.
Another pick off inside the river there, able to jump him with a Vendetta. And
they found Pili Die. I mean, I'm not sure that the Lion kill is that influential.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here comes Silent with his Alpha Wolf.
Yeah, he's ready to push it in. They do have a two-man rotation out. Limp as well as Steel Kid. They're going to try and get this sneaky Nature's Guise. And I love the fact that this ability is finally seeing a lot more play. I was wondering when we were going to see it, like, it kept getting buffed and buffed and buffed. And it's finally gotten to the point where people are like, well, you know, if we can make people invisible and get those free pickoffs, and we can even get into scenarios where we can get all 5 of our team invisible. We've seen that a couple times, right? Where a team pushes out a lane, backs up, and then they all go invisible and just wait for somebody to counter push.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I was a little bit confused by that. I mean, given the importance of vision and positioning in this metagame especially, I mean, it's kind of a very poor man's Moonlight Shadow.
Yeah. It certainly is. Sets up those ganks, sometimes saves your ally. Jonas Fan is not getting a Force Staff anytime soon, it seems, at this rate. He's been stalled up pretty heavily after those constant ganks and hasn't really found any opportunities to get kills as much as he would really want to.
Yeah, and we talk about the Blink Dagger timing so much on Batrider. That Force Staff timing is arguably as or more important.
Right.
I mean, Yoki just roaming around on the Radiant side of the map.
Yep, they're going to be able to Resolution, hit him with the Skewer. That'll finish him off. Limp hits the Yule Scepter. And Line Strike Array, nope. Not going to go for it. Jonas Fan still going to try and grab somebody, though, with the lasso. Blink in, grabs Yoki. The Spike Carapace goes off, stalls him up a little bit. Still able to pull Yoki over the cliff and land the stunts necessary to be able to finish him off, though. In the meantime, they might have traded 1-for-1 there. And yes, the 1-for-1 trade-off was a bit favorable for NiP. But Team Empire got a lot more big picture-wise, where Silent was able to push down that top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right with that. That you saw, by the way, that's one of the few positions on the map where Batrider can really assure himself of a kill with the lasso without a Force Staff, lassoing somebody on the high ground from the river.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got Era trying to build into a Battle Fury. It's obviously going to be very delayed, seeing as his farm isn't that great. Plus, he had to get some regular stat items, which is pretty typical. Yeah. No one really goes straight Battle Fury.
A little bit of a concern that Silent has opened up a little bit of a gap here over Era.
Especially since that gap is going to increase even more as Roshan is most likely going to be taken by Empire. The dire side, they have a Troll. They're also taking early control. Everything kind of should be red as Team Empire getting Rosh whenever they try for it. And it could be right now. They could actually go for the Silent to do Roshan by himself and the rest of the team to go gank. Like, that's how powerful a troll is. Ooh, bad time to go for it here. Smoke up. Oh, this could actually be perfect if Jonas Fun actually backs away. They may read the fact that, like, okay, Batrider just checked. We can do Roshan now. It basically in that 10 to 20 seconds.
Oh God! Look, yeah, with the Alpha Wolf Aura, look how fast this Roshan is going to go down. This is a solo troll warlord at level 11.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty, and this is all thanks to it's like sneaking in. It's like when you smoke up into the Roshan pit and the Clockwork has just rocket flared. You know, it's that kind of opportunity. The vision gap is there where they feel safe for a good 20 seconds, so you can go for Roshan. But at the same time, Empire don't know all the information that we know. All they have is this one ward. They have no idea if the Batrider is sitting here ready to jump in. So they back up for a little bit and now fully commit for Roshan here while the Nyx Assassin pushes out and tries to read anybody that's going to be rotating in.
Roshan has
Boy, and an Aegis on Troll here, it's just, that's going to let him open up this gap even wider.
Yeah, nice pick off there. Resolution, thanks to that Invis rune, manages to skewer back the Lion. They'll get a tier 1 tower off of this. Ninjas in Pajamas are just going to do some counter pushing as best they can. Go in for the middle lane push and top lane farm at the same time. Yoki's actually going to try and set this one up. He does have a Blink Dagger, but they do not
Yeah, they saw
have vision.
Sealkid though.
Unfortunately, no vision on their supports, so no opportunity to get a kill. They'll get this tier 1 tower. They may try and TP up to the top lane. They've already blown Glyph, but they could conceivably get this tower and mass TP up.
I mean, why not keep going though?
I guess not. No TP back. You're right. Just keep on pushing in the bottom lane. Push in middle lane as well. If they want to tier 1 for tier 1. You'll still get the better engagements as long as you continue pushing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they could very well turn this into a 3-for-1 trade here if they can win a team fight in terms of towers.
Resolution currently setting up on this middle tower. They're going to play a little bit safe, and I like this. The very aggressive play would have been to try and push down both lanes at the same time and see how NiP reacts. But instead, they just kind of group up middle, ensure the fact that they'll get this tier 1. So it ends up resulting in a 2-for-1. Of course, Ninjas in Pajamas are doing the only thing they can, which is just spend time farming.
Yeah, and this is another thing about these two teams knowing each other so well. This is usually the point in the game when Ninjas in Pajamas likes to be the team pressuring, and Empire really taking that away from them in this match. I mean, their five man right now is just so good.
Middle tower is under attack.
And knowing
Shadow Blade on Limp Lina, this is a build that's gained a lot of momentum in recent weeks.
Oh yeah, they love it so much, especially since you're dealing with a lot of BKB heroes. Even Juggernaut has been known to pick up a lot of BKBs lately. Magic Immunity is that important since we're running all these intelligence heroes, so that the way to counter that is to, well, eventually get Scythe of Ice, but the first step is usually a Shadow Blade, so you can land the Line Strike Array out of that invisibility. And as you can see, it also sets you up for prime opportunities to go for free pickoffs. As they see a couple of heroes here, Limp. Ooh.
Oh boy, Empire with the counter smoke coming in.
Yeah, this is a bit awkward. Counter for counter. They are going to be able to grab Sealkid. Stun will land, and Sealkid's not going anywhere. So, good pickoff. Really surprised. Did I misread that? I wasn't looking at vision-wise, but Limp definitely saw 1 or 2 heroes there, right?
Yeah, he saw 1 or 2 heroes, but he didn't have vision of the rest, and it was just a solo Leshrac. I mean, it's not really worth it for him to go all in on Aloha Dance when he can just get jibbed right after.
So they end up losing just Sealkid. Empire going to seize that opportunity to push in. They still have that Aegis on Silent, plus an SNY, and the Empower is also making him very threatening. And this is one of the beautiful things, primary reason why Magnus is being seen so much, right, is that we're seeing all these stat builds on these heroes, which means the Empower, the percentage-based increase, is all the more powerful.
Yeah, and I mean, Empower and Battle Trance. I mean, people talk about PA and Magnus being OP. Well, let's talk about Troll and Magnus for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, Phantom Assassin doesn't farm nearly as fast as a Troll does, and Troll actually farms so much faster thanks to the Magnus with this combination. And this is one of the big advantages of the Troll, right? He's able to jungle, so he farms faster than most other heroes. Maybe not as fast as like an Animage with Battle Fury or something like that, but he farms really quickly, and he also has these great stat builds that it makes him very hard to kill. So even if you do go for that gank, it's not assured. So he gets a lot of farm here. It's made even more powerful by the fact that not only can you farm up the jungle, but now with this build, you can farm up Ancient stacks.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, the strength of Troll is really in his flexibility. I mean, he's kind of a do-everything hero, and I mean, he can 5-man, he can hard farm, he can run at you.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
All options.
I mean, there's really not a weakness in his kit right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So they took the tier 2 in the top lane. I'm not sure if Empire perhaps are being a little bit, they're seeing it now, obviously, as the push is going into the tier 3, but I feel like they lost that tier 2 due to the Phantom Assassin push, right, where it's not showing up on the minimap, so you just naturally see like, oh, okay, it's just creep pushing in the top lane, it'll be fine, and next thing you know, that tier 2 tower is gone. I feel like that was a bit of a mistake there. They do end up getting the tier 2 at bottom lane, but now they have to set up for middle, where Ninjas of Pajamas are actually laying in wait, knowing that Empire are going to try and defend it.
So actually, I don't mind the trading here by Empire. I mean, ordinarily, when you're the team that's ahead and Empire are leading by about 8k gold right now, you don't necessarily want to let the other team trade evenly. But with a Troll Warlord having just gotten his BKB, they're at the point where if they win a team fight right now, I mean, it's racks.
Yeah.
And so I actually I like the trades just because of the situation that it puts them in.
Yeah, I just felt like because the fact it was a solo Phantom Assassin, they sell the Aegis and everything, that they could have afforded a little bit more of a split, right, where they actually put the Troll top.
But look, people talk about like breaching high ground being too hard, right?
Right.
And that's the big complaint of a lot of people about this meta. Well, I mean, my solution to that is, okay, if you think breaching high ground is too hard, put yourself in a position where when you do win that one convincing team fight, you can really do a lot of damage to the enemy base. So I don't mind trades like that in the current context nearly as much.
Let's see what Era's got. He's got a Battle Fury, soon to be a BKB. That's going to make a big difference, but if Empire can try and force an engagement now before that BKB is up, they'll have a very big advantage. Problem's going to be, though, NiP are just going to leave that tier 2 to die. I mean, I don't think they are really going to try and risk it without the BKB, especially since it's so close.
No, and they really shouldn't. But look at this, right? I mean, Empire have all they need right now. I mean, they're in position with Silent having his 10-second BKB charge. They can win one fight, and it's 2 lanes of racks.
Look at these mass Yule Scepter. Yoki always want to fly, as well as Resolution, all having Yule Scepter.
Why would you not? If you coordinate properly, it gives you such a level of control in these team fights, and especially with NiP running kind of the 4 protect 1. I mean, Era doesn't have his BKB yet. They can take him out of a fight for as long as they want.
It's going to make it really hard to lock onto these heroes. You already had, grabbing always want to fly, pulling him back into the rest of the enemy team. They do have the rotation out. Yule Scepter, self-Yule Scepter, in order to dodge, always want to fly, trying to go for the disruption, doesn't get it, but it will result in a turnaround kill, perhaps two. Limp pops the Shadow Blade. They do have a gem, perfect. Yoki comes in with a Vendetta, reveals the Lina, and they get a secondary kill out of that.
God.
Well worth it for Team Empire.
Well, and the tree just got chopped down. I mean, you saw Seal Kid walk right up to Silent, use the overgrowth, and Silent was like, okay, bash, 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 bye-bye.
Yeah. Rough time. 7-13, 26 minutes in, still about a 7,500 gold lead. Perhaps to grow even further. Yoki finds one. Yule Scepter misses the stun there. And now Resolution comes in. Secondary Yule Scepter lining up the skewer in order to push him down the cliff. RP threatened, but not actually used. And they are going to back away from that one. That could have been a kill, but they decide there's too many heroes in NiP. And this is the thing, right? NiP, or rather Empire, choosing not to defend that tier 2 in the top lane, not choosing to go for that Batrider kill. They're playing very conservatively, really respecting the fact that NiP, they don't want to overextend themselves against NiP.
Right. And I mean, I think their plan right now is probably to wait about another minute or two for this next Roche spawn and just go all in, try and win that big fight and decide the game. I mean, this is, to me, when Empire plays this way, they are a really, really good team. Sometimes I think they get a little bit too carried away with the CIS Dota and running at you, but when they play this kind of controlled aggression strategy, they're very difficult to beat.
BKB and Gem both picked up by Ninjas in Pajamas. A little bit better opportunities to catch out Yoki. They kind of needed this one for a while as Yoki simply scattered out too much.
Yeah, that's the one question to me that I would ask Empire is, I like the fact that they're playing very controlled here, but they did give Era a chance to farm up the BKB, which means that the mass Yule strategy now isn't quite as valuable. And boy, NiP might have this timed perfectly. They're going to try and smoke into Roche here.
This is going to be really good. They find Silent. Perfect grab here. They're going to be able to pick him up. Oh, never mind. They're actually going to go in the back for Always Want to Fly, but that's going to result in a bad situation for Yono as he's surrounded by 3. I guess he really wanted to make sure there was no disruption onto Silent, but Silent already popped the
weird
BKB.
Decision.
Overgrowth getting laid down. They're going to lose the secondary one here as Seal Kid going to be popped up in the air. They actually try and turn Hanskin. Not sure what he was doing there, but they're just feeding hero after hero as Giants go marching in one by one. And Empire gladly take all of those kills. Perhaps another one. Era does have a haste rune, so he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But
I almost feel like I must have saw that fight wrong because they saw Silent and that had his Force Staff. I just assumed that was going to be a one fight for NiP right there, but kind of inexplicably going on Always Want to Fly in the back.
Hey, there's a buff for you. So when you use the Leshrac Lightning Storm, right, it kind of looks like a purge. What if it actually did purge? Like in that situation where Era has a haste rune, I'm just saying, like, hey, that sounds like a pretty cool idea to me, you know? You could actually get some clutch plays. It'd counter Omni Knight super hard.
Dude, a spammable purge? Holy shit. Yeah, that would be,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, the same amount of slow that it already does, but it also just happens to purge you. Yeah,
but I'm saying a lot of people, I think, don't realize, like, how, I mean, Diffusal Blade has limited charges for a reason. Like, that little Satyr creep has low HP for a reason.
Uh-oh. Yono going to be caught out here. Yoki going to put himself in the flames with the Spike Carapace, stunning up Yono now getting the Yule Scepter. This time he will land the stun, and Yono caught out 7-17. 29.5 minutes in.
Yeah, and I have a hard time seeing how NiP is going to be able to defend high ground here. Empire just sort of playing this in a perfectly controlled fashion.
Yeah, I mean, really, you make one mistake by the Phantom Assassin, a poor positioning error that gets you caught out without BKB. You pop BKB at the wrong time. You know, there's so many situations here. Era has to play this perfectly. And, well, what he's doing right here is pretty good, Kyle. Split pushing. He's going to be caught out by Always Want to Fly. Of course, Always Want to Fly has the Yule Scepter if necessary, but they catch him with the RP. Resolution all came back. The Skewer gets the kill.
The Soul Catcher. Holy crap.
Yeah. Doing so much damage there. Nice call. They just thought that was a one-man defense. But
yeah, that's one of those where I wish, you know how a lot of people said Sanjin Yasha needed a more visible effect for the MAME so that people would take it a little more seriously? I feel like Soul Catcher needs a little bit more of a visible effect because it just did so much damage.
Yeah, it really did. Leshrac, it's got a bounty or sorry, Bloodstone is what he's going to be going for soon. We also have Refresher Orb next for Resolution. Silent with that MKB, no longer having to deal with the Phantom Assassin. And I feel like once you've gotten the MKB, it's just game over for a Phantom Assassin. Like, she needs to have already had an impact and be kind of winning the game before that MKB comes up. Once the MKB is up, it's so hard to come back.
No, a troll with 50% more net worth and an MKB and BKB at 30 minutes? No, PA is screwed.
Oh, Yule Scepter there. Lion going to be caught out. Hanskin made the wrong blink maneuver. Whose Yule Scepter was that? That was Resolution's. Good call by him. Yep. He put the Yule Scepter onto the Lion, so when the Lion blinked in, it ended up instantly Yule Sceptering him like that and sets up for the kill.
Yeah, no, that's another underrated aspect of the Yules. I mean, people talk about the script hacks, and I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is you can pre-cast that, and it stops blink initiation.
Empire starts spamming out on the melee racks. They're not going to fight. They're going to wait out the Aegis, it seems.
And I mean, Empire doesn't even need to win a fight right now, and they racks.
Oh no! Oh god, the Lincolns comes up at the perfect time there. Very well played.
That was just sick.
Yeah, that was nasty. Well played by Resolution, getting that Lincolns at the perfect time to block the Laguna Blade so they don't even lose the Aegis. I mean, not that they, like, let's be real here. If they lose the Aegis there, I doubt anything's going to happen. They're still going to take that range tracks. They're going to run away, but it was still such a clutch play.
No, I mean, I don't know. People people really praise Yoki for his Magnus, and understandably so. But I actually think maybe Resolution has the better Magnus. His RPs, he's hit more 4- and 5-man RPs in games this patch than in just about anybody else I've seen.
So 21,000 net worth on the troll. Whoa, we might have Yoki caught out. Okay, on a ward laid down. A little bit too late. They get the Hex, but by this time, Empire ready to formulate a response here. 2 heroes on the side, dodging the dagger, making sure the Resolution's still able to come in. Sealkid's actually going to be bursted from the side. Silent now turns on to Air on the left-hand side. Air is going to be forced back. He needs some additional help. They have the lasso, but they don't want to be fighting into the Aegis. They know it's going to go down soon. Silent, they burst him now. There goes that Aegis with just a few seconds to spare. Lina does end up going down. They're not going to go for the troll a second time, as they know the rest of Empire will be there shortly. So 7-21.
And they're just going to waste the Lina buyback and continue the slow siege.
Yep.
I mean, Empire just do not have to leave NiP's side of the map, and really, the only response from NiP has been Era split pushing top. But I mean, with this, you just saw the Soul Catcher and Resolution Magnus combo shut that down with only 2 TPs back. And Resolution now with the Refresher Orb, in addition to his Lincoln Sphere, boy, I mean, I feel like he's been the MVP for Empire.
Yeah, they're going to have a Scotty soon on the troll at that point. Even the Phantom Assassin is going to have a hard time getting away from him. Yoki setting up on Limp. Hits 1, hits 2, mana.
Oh, yeah.
Dagon to finish him off. That is a one-hit combo.
Yeah, I mean, now you see why we were talking about the Nyx Assassin countering Lina Core.
Empire pursuing for Yono-Safan. They're actually going to go for the RP here. Overgrowth laid out, missed. They throw out the lightning. That's going to be enough to kill Yono-Safan. Era still sitting in the side, doesn't want to be a part of this engagement. RP going to be forced onto 2. And sure, Era doesn't go in, knowing that there was going to be a secondary RP, but they just go ahead and call GG. Not much they can do anymore.
Yeah, nice crit there by Era, but too little, too late. Yeah, very, very well played game 1. And I mean, when Empire plays this style and gets this kind of draft, they're just so difficult to beat. Ninjas in Pajamas have been playing very, very well recently, but Empire has been kind of their arch nemesis. I mean, 13-3 and now 14-3 is Empire against NiP in this patch. We'll see how NiP come back in game 2.
All right, short break, and game number 2 of this best of 5 between the Team Empire and Ninjas in Pajamas will be on the way.